Have you ever felt like you're doing amazing work, but for some reason you're just not getting the recognition or the opportunities you know you deserve? Well, the problem probably isn't your skills. It's likely your credibility. And mastering this is, hands down, one of the most important skills for leveling up your career. So today we're going to walk you through a step-by-step audit to help you get seen and heard.
I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? Think about it. Promotions. Who gets the lead on that cool new project? Who gets picked for that key assignment? All those decisions are made based on the reputation you've built. It's what people say about you and the confidence they have in you when you're not there to make your own case. That's why managing your credibility isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about something called the credibility gap. Then, we're going to dive into 3 personal audits, looking at your digital presence, your communication style, and how you show off your expertise. And to wrap it all up, we'll pull everything together into a personal playbook you can literally start using today. Okay, first up, let's tackle a huge problem that so many of us face without even knowing it, the professional credibility gap. This is exactly where careers can hit a wall.
You know, you could be the most talented person on your team, but if you don't project that credibility, it just doesn't land. See, professional credibility isn't just one thing. It's a whole collection of signals. It's in your emails, your LinkedIn profile, and how you carry yourself in meetings. And in our digital-first world, you better believe people are forming an opinion of you long before they ever shake your hand.
So at its very core, credibility is just about believability. This is an old idea that goes all the way back to Aristotle. He called it ethos, which is basically the character of the speaker. It's that magic ingredient that makes people trust what you have to say, whether you're talking to your team, your clients, or your boss. And credibility really stands on 2 main pillars: trustworthiness and expertise. So expertise is what you know, your skills, your experience. But trustworthiness, that's all about your character. Can people really count on you? And here's the key. You got to have both. Think of them as multipliers. All the expertise in the world means nothing if people don't trust you. And being super trustworthy without the skills to back it up, well, that doesn't get you very far either. You have to build them both at the same time.
All right, let's get into our first audit, and you'll see how this starts to build. We're kicking things off with your digital presence, because let's be real, it's your 24/7 credibility ambassador. People are looking you up online before they even think about meeting you, so let's make sure it's sending all the right signals.
We can really break this down into 3 key areas. First up, is your profile actually complete and professional? Second, is the story you're telling about yourself consistent across different places online? And third, are you actually sharing your knowledge and engaging with others in your field? A weak spot in any one of these can totally undermine the other 2.
Let's get super practical and talk about LinkedIn, because it's usually the first place people go for a professional background check. Are you hitting these key points? A real professional headshot, please, not a selfie. A headline that's full of keywords that says what you do, not just your job title. A short, punchy story in your About section. A place to show off your best work. And some social proof. Recommendations from real people. These aren't just little details, they're huge signals of your professionalism.
Okay, if you do just one thing after hearing this, please make it this. Go update your LinkedIn headline. Seriously. Instead of just manager at company X, try something that really describes the value you bring, like helping SaaS brands build pipeline through content strategy. That kind of specificity screams expertise and gives your credibility an instant boost.
All right, let's roll into our second audit, your communication. Every single email, every Slack message, and every meeting you're in is a live test of your credibility. This is where you signal competence and confidence, right here in real time.
I love this slide because it shows the power of language so clearly. Just look at the difference. Weak, wishy-washy language like "I was just wondering" just projects uncertainty. But swapping it for strong, direct language like "I'd like to propose" signals real confidence. And the best part? This is a free upgrade. It costs you absolutely nothing to change a few words, but the impact on how people see you is massive.
I want you to start thinking of every meeting as a performance. It doesn't matter if it's on Zoom or in a physical boardroom, people are judging your credibility based on 4 acts. How you prepare beforehand, your setup, especially your virtual one, how you act during the meeting, and what you do after it's over. A fuzzy, poorly lit camera or showing up unprepared sends a way louder signal than you might think.
So, what do people with high credibility actually do?
Well, they have these habits dialed in. They show up a couple minutes early, not just on time. They turn their camera on. They actually listen and build on what other people are saying, which shows they're a team player. They physically take notes, which signals, I'm engaged. And, so important, they close the loop with a summary afterwards. These little actions add up and build a reputation for being reliable and prepared.
And now, for our final audit, which brings our two pillars, expertise and trustworthiness, right into focus. Look, it's not enough to be an expert. People have to see that expertise. And trustworthiness isn't about what you intend to do, it's about being reliable. This is where you build that deep, lasting credibility.
Oh, I love this slide. It shows the whole journey of expertise so well. See, most of us get stuck at apply it. We know our stuff, we do good work, and that's it. But to build a real reputation, you've got to move to those next stages, documenting what you know and then sharing it with others. That's when your reputation really starts to work for you.
And signaling your expertise isn't always about big, flashy things like publishing a book. It's often about these small, consistent, informal actions. Sharing a great article in a team channel, asking a really smart question that shows you're thinking 3 steps ahead, or offering to mentor someone. These are powerful, everyday signals of your competence and generosity.
Now, this is so important. One of the biggest credibility killers, especially for ambitious people, is overcommitting. Saying yes to everything feels great in the moment, but it completely destroys trust when you can't deliver. This one simple phrase, "Let me check my capacity," is incredibly powerful. It tells people you take your commitment seriously, and that builds a ton of trust.
And that brings us right to reliability. Of all the signals we've talked about today, this one is by far the most powerful. It is the absolute foundation of trust. Your expertise might get you in the door, but it's your reliability, consistently doing what you say you're going to do, that keeps you in the room and gets you invited into even bigger ones.
Okay, so we've worked our way through the audit. Now let's wrap this all up by turning these ideas into a real, actionable playbook you can use to consistently level up your professional standing. Here are the 4 big principles to keep in mind. First, credibility is multi-channel. You've got to manage it everywhere. Second, perception is proactive. You have to be the one to shape your own narrative. Third, your expertise has to be visible to actually have an impact. And finally, never forget that reliability is like an investment that just compounds and grows over time.
If you take away just one single thing today, please let it be this. Big reputations are built on small, consistent signals, not on rare, flashy moments of brilliance. Focus on being solid, being prepared, and being reliable every single week. That is so much more powerful than trying to be brilliant once in a blue moon.
And that brings us to the end. So I'm going to leave you with this question to really think about. Don't try to fix everything all at once. Just pick one thing from our audit today. Maybe it's updating that LinkedIn headline, swapping out a weak phrase you always use, or sending a meeting summary. And commit to improving that one single credibility signal this week. That's how real, lasting change begins.